Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. This is Let's Play Training Simulator. And looking at the standard tab for Portsmouth Direct Line, I was kind of theorizing where those 4-5-5 scenarios were last time. Well, we found them. End of shift is down here at the bottom. We found Guildford bound below that. And they're all small scenarios. I think the longest one is like 25 or 30 minutes. So there's two more on here for it as well. We're going to come down to pushing the boundary. There's the 30-minute one. And Sunday shuttle is actually the last one at 25 minutes. So there are those four scenarios on the 4-5-5. There you go. You notice there's a bunch of 4-4-4s as well. We actually got like 7 or 8 scenarios on the 4-4-4. That's going to be a set of scenarios by itself that we're going to look at. And I have to look at that before we go to the other Portsmouth Direct Line because it's actually a default train on that route. So we're going to look at that one before moving to the newer one. So that is going to be part of our plan for Portsmouth Direct Line. But as you can see, I've highlighted a different one today. I've highlighted Southern Railtour. So I scroll down so you can see Working to Woking and then Riviera Line under that, obviously, with that stuff down there that I've already done. So, yeah, we're looking at Southern Railtour today. This is a Black 5 scenario, and, yeah, I'm still not fully confident on Steam, especially because I have to poke my head out the window to see what's coming up and know where I'm stopping, and I'm just going to have to get in the habit of not doing that when I'm coming up on station, I guess. I don't know, something like that. In any case, let's go ahead and get going and see if we can get ourselves moving on this Southern Railtour. We got 3 stops, from what I understand, and we're going to go ahead and try and do this from pretty much the entire route in a steam train. Let's do it. Allow passengers to board, then set off as signals allow. Well, that's descriptive. Allow passengers to board. Let's look at our train, shall we? Doors should be open, I hope. I did allow passengers to board, right? Yeah, they're boarding. Okay. So, looking at the Black 5, we have the British Railways Lion logo on it, and there she is, the train itself, right there. That's what we're driving today. Let's, yeah, we're going to be using this view a bit. We're going to be doing that. We could do that as well, but obviously in the cab you can't see much. You can actually see more out this window, I think. But in any case, we are ready to go. Let's get going. So, regulator up. The task list shows that we are now going via Worplesdon. Oh, brakes off. Would be a good idea. Didn't have the reverser completely up, so we'll fix that problem right now. And the brakes are still not off. Let's fix that problem right now, shall we? Oh, there we go. It just didn't want to go. I was wondering why it didn't want to move. So now that we are on the go, we're going to start regulating our steam a little bit more. I can't. I cannot lower the... Okay. Never mind. I can't do it that way, apparently. I don't know why. Why can I not lower the reverser on this train? Oh, I see. You have to actually lower this completely and then put the regulator back down. Well, this is going to be a little complex, isn't it? This is a little more complex than the previous one. Okay, anyway, we know what we can expect up ahead here. I don't know if we actually have an alerter in this train. That's actually going to be good news if we don't. I'm happy if we don't. But we know there's a 40 coming up, and we know we're going to be signaled all over the place here. So let's stay in the cab for a moment just to make sure we don't do anything we shouldn't. Did I just pass a red? I might have just passed a red. Nope, that's not our red. Never mind. Maybe that was another person's red. Oh, I should probably bring this up, shouldn't I? Because it shows you everything. So as you can see, she takes a little while to get up to speed, but once she goes, she purrs for you. And we do have greens. I just thought I passed the red when I saw someone else's red. So our ETA for the... Well, we don't have ETA for Warples. And actually, this is not timed at all. We can just do whatever here. So we're going to just enjoy this drive. Let's enjoy it. No pressure, no timings, nothing. Just enjoy the beauty and power of a Black 5 locomotive. There we go. You don't get to see that every day anymore. Oh, and back out the window. So we're going via Warpleton. We're not actually stopping. I just instinctively started slowing down. We are going to be picking passengers up at Guildford, though, so we are going to have to start slowing down for Guildford very soon. I'm not sure how good the brakes are on this engine yet, so we're going to find out. Okay, I'm going to say 50 is good enough. We don't need to go super fast here. So our fireman, we do have the automatic fireman enabled, so he is doing the work for us. We have lots of coal, good amount of water, not as much as a Flying Scotsman though, for example. He is topping up the water right now. And here is Warpleston. We'll be making a water stop at Guildford. There you go. This also gives enthusiasts a chance to photograph the train from the opposite platform. Yep. So we're picking up water. It says pastures, but we're picking up water. So knowing our stop's coming up, I have limited our speed down to about 45 right now. I'm going to lower the regulator and let it drop even more. So I think that's a good point to let that happen. In fact, I'll drop the regulator to an idle position right now. Bring it back up so we don't lose all our speed. Right now I'm just trying to maintain speed, so I'm good with that. We have 2 miles to go until Guildford. I'm just worried there might be signals up ahead. In fact, there is a junction signal, so we are going to have to go down to 25, I believe, anyway at this point, after we get past these junction signals. Yeah, just take a look at the HUD. I just noticed the exclamation mark for the alerter is not lit up, so we don't have an alerter at all. We're not going to have to worry about automatic emergency brakes here from the alerter, which is good news, because the ones that have an alerter, I was having trouble with having to keep my head out the window. I'll see if I can mod the trains that have the alerter so you can hear the alerter in this format. So that double yellow signal flashing, you might, for those who might not watch all the diesel videos, it might just be watching the steam one. That particular signal means we're going to be diverting off this track in 2 signals. You can see now there's a single yellow signal ahead. And I'm gaining speed again, which is probably not what I want to do right now. So let's turn that around in a hurry. The PSI was going up to allow me to gain speed again, so that's what the PSI is now up to 222. So it was the steam was in the engine to use, but as I let the steam out this way, I'm gonna have to let it recharge. Had a little bit of lag there. It looks like Guildford does cause some lag. I've noticed that before. There are a number of tracks coming in around Guildford, so it's not surprising. It's not that optimized. There is a 20 up ahead, so we're going to go ahead and just let the train coast for a while. We're going to have to hit the brakes in a moment. Actually, I should have a running brake applied. Why I haven't done that, I don't know. But let's go ahead and put a little bit of brakes on now just to bring our speed down in time. Just to see what happens if I do that. Back to a running. That is going to help a little bit. In fact, I might have been too efficient with that. I'm still being way too cautious with the steam engine because the brakes don't work as well on a steam engine as they do on a diesel train. So I released the brakes. I'm going to go ahead and put the throttle back on just to make sure we maintain some speed. I call it a throttle, but I shouldn't call it that at all. It's a regulator. So I'm maintaining the 20 for right now. Venting some more steam. So we now have our yellow junction signal. That means the next signal could still be red. And platform 2 is clear. You saw that a moment ago on the display. Of course, the signal turns red the second we pass it, which is not realistic. Actually, I should not be lowering that yet. Let's keep the regulator on a little bit longer. It is coasting a little too easily, so we're going to keep the regulator going just a little longer here. Now I'll drop it. The lowest coming to the platform going a little bit slower. And this again is not part of the platform that we're seeing here. This is not platform, even though it looks like it. I don't know why, but it isn't. Just gonna coast in right now. What you see over there is a train, or here over there is a train leaving, by the way. There's a Class 450 service. Enthusiasts gotta love hearing the horn. So I'm just chugging it into place here. That's all I'm doing. Fireman has closed the doors on the firebox, it looks like. We're not going to get the whole train in, so we're just going to go ahead and get as much of it in as I possibly can. You can see the signal ahead is green, so that's not an issue. So maybe I put the steam engine itself beyond the platform. That would be nice. That'll do. The back end is not going to get in, but this will do. We're going to stop here. We're going to open the doors. Arrival with a black 5 at Guildford, platform 2. If I can stop moving, that would be nice. Thank you. All right. We're all topped up again thanks to the local fire brigade. So we are going to get going. Apparently the fire brigade has topped us up our water, but our water is not topped up. I don't understand. Anyway, we are done our stop. We're going to get going. Somehow, I need to put the regulator into full power first so we can get ourselves moving. Release the brakes. And with that release, we can move this up. Get ourselves up to 20 in a hurry. Well, not all the way to 20 because we're going to have to change the steam pressure again. So I'll do that now. There we go. So we just entered a 25 mile per hour speed limit. Which I should increase to, that would be helpful. We are entering into a 60 as well, so I'm just going into full regulator right now. We're going to go ahead and let this puppy chug some steam. Let this baby drink. As you can see, we have 36 miles to go here, so we're probably not going to get much above 55 or 60, if even to that. We're going to have a tunnel we have to slow to 44 at some point along the way. And oh boy, is this pumping steam right now. Here we go. We are moving up. There's a 70 and 85 coming up. I see a yellow signal, which I believe is on the other track, but it could be our signal as well. If it is our signal, this could be problematic. Looking out this window. Yeah, well, no, that's the other signal. We have a green. Very, very clear. The fireman closed the tunnel doors. A good thing, because that could have been a fatal blowback error if he didn't. We're in a tunnel. So doors are open again. So we're not taking the junction to the left, we're going to the right because that's what we have documented on our route. Let's actually bring up the map very quickly to show you, in fact. That's all the way towards the bottom. You can see that actually the route does exist over here to Red Hill, but it is not sceneried. So this is on the Brighton main line all the way over at Red Hill, but it is not sceneried along this route. So only to the next station, I believe, and that's it. Now there are, I'm sure, enhancements in the workshop that do scenery that and allow you to use services in that area. It'd be nice if that track would actually show up as part of some other kind of thing. So you have that track somewhere, but unfortunately it doesn't. So we don't use it. notice that we passed a whistle board. That's why I'm tooting the horn. Looking at the speed limits up ahead, we have a 60, a 75, and an 80. And some lag. So we are going about 50 right now. We're not going to really get beyond 50, but I have to keep the regulator up so that we can go ahead and keep that speed going. So if we drop that regulator, we will lose speed. I'm going to go ahead and apply the running brake meanwhile, just so that's done. The only speed change we're going to have to worry about is dropping to 40 for a tunnel. I don't remember the name of the tunnel, but I gave it to you in a previous video, so you can go check that if you want to. I don't have my notes with me either, so I can't tell you right now. There is the famous Kuju steeple, I believe, over there on the left. Let's look at some bushes. There we go. And zoom out, and we can look at the famous Kuju steeple. The famous Kuju steeple, ladies and gentlemen. We don't care about the Kuju steeple, though. We just want to hear the church bells. And we're back in the train and on the go. And we're already losing speed. It looks like we're on a slight up, well, not slight, it's a decent uphill. 1 in 150, I believe that is. That one might be hard to read on YouTube. So, but I'm not even sure I'm reading that right. It could be a 6, could be an 8, but I think it's 150. And I think back in the day as an engineer, you had to judge this uphill yourself. You didn't have a computerized guide to tell you. You had to either judge it yourself or have information on hand telling you what the gradients were. Steam train drivers back in the day, they had the glorious job. Nowadays, they probably would be bored with today's trains, those old famous steam engineers. might be asking what that platform is. I don't remember. And I didn't call it the previous one either, but we'll look at this one. This one is that, Milford. And I have loved the nice water over on the left here. This is an old route, but I still like these touches when they add this. Obviously, it's going to have to be real for them to add it to a real route. But it's a nice touch to see the water in there. And we're going to change our angle of attack here to, let's do this. Actually, no, we'll do it like this, because we're going to see more of the track this way. This view will be changed later, I'm pretty sure, when we have to change cameras again. So the uphill is once again slaying our speed. We're under 40 miles per hour. This is a steep uphill. This engine's going to have a hard time with this. 1 in 82 uphill gradient. We're also not getting a lot of steam into the engine, which is also related to this. The PSI is starting to go back up though, so we are going to trust that that takes care of itself. Otherwise we might learn something on this uphill. We'll find out. It may be a case where I would have had to open the regulator to get a little more steam, but we're going to come to the top of this hill soon and this problem should correct itself, so we should be okay. So gradient is leveling out now. We're about to go downhill, so we're going to start gaining speed again now. You can see the speed is now back up to 31, so we're going to start chugging down this hill very mightily. In case you want to know, I didn't see a sign, so I can't tell you. In case you wanted to know, that was Whitley Station. And sure enough, we're continuing on the downhill. So it's the top of a hill in each direction. There you go. PSI is dropping. I'm going to actually lower the throttle or the regulator because that seems like a good idea to build up the PSI again. Plus we're already gaining speed. I'll keep it low. So that's going to let the pressure build up. It'll give us more power for the next uphill climb. We're going to get that going now. Normally in a Class 450, you don't think about these gradients, just to control your speed a little in the 70s, but you don't think about them how they affect the steam engine very much. This is a demonstration of how these gradients can affect a steam engine. So it looks like it's going to smooth out after about a mile or so up ahead. No, never mind, it's still going uphill. So we are still going to struggle for a little while here. PSI has smoothed out now at 154 and going up. Hillsea is still 26 miles away. And we are still losing speed. Once again, we are going to come to the end of a... No, we're not. I thought the signal was the end of the uphill, but I keep calling it early. Well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about speed for the tunnel right now. That's pretty much under control at the moment. Looks like our speed is somewhat holding at 25 right now, but still or 29 right now, but still decreasing. We still have an uphill. It's a 1 in 80 uphill gradient. It is fairly steep for a steam train. Now, I find myself in my reactionary stance right now not wanting to drop the regulator down because I'm afraid I'm going to lose too much speed trying to move the reverser up to get more steam in the engine. I'm a little worried about that. The PSI is building up though, so that is going to help us build up more power in the end because that'll be more pressure we can use. Of course, if it gets too high, if it gets too high, we go boom. We're going a little slow on this track right now, so we're going to hold off on the whistle. Do it again. Neener, 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 neener. Or is that, I think it's more of a footbridge. It's just a footbridge. I think we're maintaining 28 on this gradient, so that's okay. We'll gain speed again later. I'm just going to let the train chug along, best we can do. So another look outside the train. There she is in all her glory. And a bush. 4830, the Black 5. What's the what are the passenger seeing today? First. Okay. First class is now you see that there is a door there. Technically you could open that door and go into the hallway and wander around, but we are stuck in our single cabin. We can't do anything here. Okay. Nice windmill picture on the wall there. Baggage racks. Yeah, very nice seating. Nice seats, nice comfy seats, I'm very sure. 6 people can fit in here apparently. Or 4 fat people. Anyway, that's the inside of our train again. We'll take a quick look around. There's the fire. And outside. Excuse me. I'm going to see if I can get a picture at a future platform, because I've been meaning to watch for a platform to come, and I just don't realize I'm on the platform until I'm in it, because I'm looking away for a moment at something, and then I look back and I'm on the platform. So I'll try and get you a picture of the train going by at some point. I kind of want it to be faster, though, when it does. Anyway, that platform was, as you can see, Hazelmere. That was our halfway Hazelmere termini heading back in the other direction. So what I can tell you looking at the HUD is we still have a bunch of stations between here and Havant. The reason I know that is we've got 23 miles to go. And there are stations pretty much every 4 miles on this route. So we are getting speed again very nicely. We're on a downhill right now, so we're getting to the 38, 39, and we're at 40 again. The PSI has also increased quite a bit. So now that we are gaining some speed, I am going to be able to drop the regulator at some point. Because we are on a massive downhill, I'll start dropping it now. I mean, 123 isn't exactly massive, but if you were going back the other way, you'd be going pretty fast. Okay, let's drop the regulator now that we are approaching 50. Just to see what happens. Okay, a little more back on, and we can maintain around 50, I believe. And there's another service coming. We'll look at it this time. PMS to Waterloo. Portsmouth Southsea to Waterloo. We're going fast enough now, the whistle's going to be handy. We are coming to the bottom of a hill, so I'm going to have to put the regulator back up to full power as we get down there. But it's only a small hill, so I might be able to just maintain as well. Another thing related to the steam engineers of old, you have to respect the fact that because of the way these trains operate, every time they went for a drive, they were literally riding a bomb. Like, I'm not joking when I say that. If this fire was not properly maintained, these trains could explode. So we're leveling out now. We're starting to lose speeds. This is where I would look at it and say normally I would increase the regulator, but it looks like we're maintaining it okay. It's not a steep gradient. So we're going to keep it in the range of 50. I'm okay with that. And again, I didn't get reaction to the station in time, so we'll deal with that. The station, by the way, is Lip Hook, I believe that says. Lip Hook. List is somewhere in this area up ahead too, I think. So we're coming back to a downhill gradient. I'm at 46 right now. I'm going to go ahead and full regulator it for a moment. Take a look at a different angle here for a moment. Get a nice little view of the engine coming along. Let's actually hide this for a moment. Nice little oncoming view. And off she goes. Excuse me. That steam in my face, that makes you cough, you know? Here comes another view of the train. And here we go again. Yeah, that steam gets you. And let's look back inside the cab at all the wheels and gadgets. Boy, I don't like that noise. Just a reminder, our next stop is Havant. That's going to be at the end of the Portsmouth Direct Line itself, and we're going to be back on the West Coastway line when we get to Havant. That's going to take us into Portsmouth and Southsea. And actually, are we going to Portsmouth Harbour? No, Portsmouth and Southsea is right, 4B. So the fireman is refueling the water right now in the tender. Doing a good job keeping that up to snuff. 71% right now in the tender. getting speed now. We can get a high speed picture with this if we're lucky. Oh, whistle. We're at 60. Let's bring the regulator down a little bit. We are on a downhill after all, so I want to not go too fast. Our speed limit is 90, but they probably don't want us taking this over 75. I think this is Liss. I can see it on the sign. We're now 14, almost 15 miles from Havant. Another service over here. You can pause on YouTube if you want to know what it was. So we are coming up on 85 right now. We're currently traveling in a 90. Okay, I'm going to move the regulator back up because we are at 50 now. So let's put some power to maintain speed. I have no idea anymore what the original timetable was, but since we don't have a timetable, I really don't care. That's a nice little group of houses over there on the left. You only notice that from the cab of a regular diesel train because you don't have a good view out the window like this one. Oh, let's look at the other window in fact right now. Look at this one coming up. As we enter a station here. I'll try to get a read on what the station is from the signs. There you go, Petersfield. That means Roland's Castle will be the next station. I know that because we just had a scenario there. So Roland's Castle is next. And then we'll be at Havant. So the tunnel is between Petersfield and Roland's Castle, I believe. So we're going to have to drop to 40 for this upcoming tunnel. In fact, I see the 70 up ahead. That is before the tunnel. Not long before the tunnel either. So I'm going to actually start lowering the regulator now. But I have to keep in mind we are on uphill, so the uphill is going to kind of help with the regulator as well. Let's go ahead and just, you know what, never mind. Let's leave it where it is because we might lose the speed by the time we get up the hill. I hope the passengers enjoyed that 60 mile per hour moment there in the middle because it might be the only one they get with that downhill that we were on. There is the 40 tunnel up ahead, so we're going to manage for that now. Now that I know it's there, I have to drop for it, no matter what I do. 1 in 160, 55, 1 in 155 gradient, might be 156, but I think it's 155. Semantics, just a little number. It is 155. So we're managing our speed quite nicely for this tunnel right now. We're not going to be able to stay above 40 after the tunnel, looks like, because the uphill is going to continue. So a little bit of a nuisance for us here. Drop the regulator just a little bit more. We might be down to 40 in time at this rate. This might work. I think we're going to be. Actually, we might not be now that I look at it. I'm watching the number on the distance. Yeah, I'm going to lower the regulator just a little more. So we're down in time now. Close the doors, fireman. He did it. The graphics aren't really the best there, so I'm just going to look inside the cab again. So notice the firebox doors are closed. They will reopen in a moment when we leave the tunnel. Fireman is going to be using that. There it is. A nice glowing fire of coal. Coal power. And you can see we are indeed outside the tunnel again. So, there we are. So the occlusions for the Black 5 are not the best. It is an old model, so I'm not surprised. When it's in the tunnel, you don't notice it getting any darker. So, there you go. We're going to max the regulator again because we are fully in the 70 now. We're going to get a little speed on this downhill. We're going to eventually come to Roland's Castle. And that will be the last station before Havant. There is a white van out there waiting to catch a shot of us going by, it looks like, today. The rare enthusiast out on the road stopped taking pictures. He knew we were coming, so he waited for us. And we are really gaining speed now, so I'm going to watch myself on this downhill. I've gone ahead and idled the regulator for a moment because I don't want to gain too much speed. We are only 7 miles away from Havant at this time. So we're going to watch our speed. We don't have a huge rolling countryside still ahead of us. That's behind us now. Okay, I will put some regulator back on. You see, we indeed are using up some of that water. We're down 2,747 gallons. I thought the fire brigade was giving us more water, but apparently we didn't line up to the right spot for that. Apparently it was not a passenger stop, it was a water stop, and we made the stop. It told us we made the stop. But apparently, even though we got the check mark, we didn't actually get the water. We should have enough for the drive anyway, so I'm not too concerned. We will be okay for this drive. Okay, I'll go ahead and put the regulator back to full because we are losing speed with about a half regulator there. That means we probably will not gain too much speed here. We're coming to the end of the downhill anyway, so we'll take advantage of what rolling power we can muster here. Pressure did go back up over 200, which is okay. We're releasing some of that right now by using the power in the engine. Perfectly good. Before we get to Havant, let's take one more chance to look at the train from outside. There is the Black 5 with its British Railways logo on the right. Number 44830 is the number it's apparently known for. And we'll get the rest of the train as it goes by very, very briefly here. There we go. And that's inside the cab. And that's outside. Head out the window again. My favorite view in a steam train, to be honest with you. I like that view. I feel like I might have missed Roland's Castle, so checking the map very, very quickly and peeking back. No, actually, never mind, it's coming up. There's Roland's Castle right there, so we're still not there. My mistake. Look at that! Like from up here. There's a bus going along the road behind those trees. You can't really see it right now. There it is. Beautiful. He's going to continue down that road. We're going to continue on our way. And let's get back outside the cab. Give the enthusiasts a bit of a wave here. So Havant is now our next station. The next station is our stop. We are 3 miles away from Havant. There's another service. Actually, let's take a look at this view for a while. There are good reasons for me wanting to stick with this view as well. I can use different views as editing points in my videos. So when I'm actually quick editing this, I'm just going to be able to see, oh, I stayed in this view for a while. So I'll be able to know now that that's the approach into Havant. It'll make it easier for me when I'm making cuts to get camera angles. So that's one of the reasons I like to use different views and do different things. We have a 50 coming up, so I'm going to move the regulator down right now. We're going to go ahead and lower that. And lag a little bit. That's why the number froze for a second. We have a 40 after that, so I'm going to keep it dropping. Let's change back to the this view. Now I would normally freeze the speed right here around 40. I'm going to drop it a little more because we do have a stop coming up in 1.5 miles. I'm sure at the speed we're going it's going to take a little over a minute to get in there, but that's okay. So I'm going to reapply the regulator now for a moment, because we are losing speed at a pretty good pace. So I'm going to try to control our speed loss by leaving a little steam going into the engine, and that will allow us to maintain a little power and control our loss of speed to a point that we want to slow down anyway. We're now less than a mile from Havant, so I'm going to go ahead and, in terms for the entrance, the end of it is a mile away, but we're going to go ahead and lower the speed again. Once again, I'm going to put a little regulator in to control the speed loss. It also gives the passengers a chance to hear another way that the engine is sounding if it reverberates in the train. Not sure how well you can hear it. You can hear it. And that's inside. That's outside. Another service. I didn't want to do that. Let's cancel that, shall we? There's a service. So now we're going to take still another full minute coming in. That's okay. That is okay. I didn't want to gain speed. Let's not gain speed right now. So as you can see over on the left, that's the West Coastway line coming in from the Brighton area. West Coastway line does go from Brighton to Portsmouth. This line has not yet been simulated. I know there is a workshop project by someone named Warwick Rail that is simulating a lot of the older lines in the Portsmouth area and to the east and west and north, bringing back some of the old lines into life on a route that he's making. I think he intends to make this a payware DLC product, but there is going to be a freeware version that remains available on the Steam Workshop that does not have all the custom assets. But nonetheless, you probably want to see it the way it's meant to be, and you're probably going to want to get his project when it is completed. Has been putting a lot of work into that project, recreating this area, and it's definitely worth checking out. And now that I'm starting to drive Steam, I need to actually run the route myself and see what he's done, and take some scenarios in there myself. Now that I'm actually trying out Steam, I need to get that route downloaded and show you what he's been doing, because he's been working hard on that. Credit to him for that. But he cuts off the West Coastway on its way to Brighton as well, so we don't get to see old age Brighton, unfortunately. Which is fine. It's already a huge network. We don't need to see Brighton on there. There'll be a lot we can do. It'd be a shame we can't go all the way to Brighton, but... So arrival at Havant. Let's go ahead and just look in the middle of the track so you can see some enthusiasts on the other side as well. We're letting the train slow down. Gonna go ahead and keep some regulator on so we can get the train to the end of the platform. That's the only reason. The fireman has closed the firebox. There's no reason to keep that fire out right now. So now we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on the end of the platform where we want to stop. We can get the whole train in. I'm okay with this. I'm going to put a little more power on to make sure we get to the end. And we are fully in the platform. Let's make our stop now. And keep the brakes on. Thank you. I guess I'll keep it applied. Arrival at Havant. Time to make our last stop. Let's get the train going. We're going to move the red lever all the way up again. And eventually she's going to get going. There we go. Takes a little power. We're going to have to lower this lever now that we are moving. We're going to go ahead and bring that back down to nothing for a moment. We're going to bring the reverser back down again, just as per protocol, at 30%. Now that that's done, let's look outside again. Now that was a green signal, we just crossed, and it became red as we crossed, obviously. That's normal. Nothing unusual. 70 miles per hour is a speed limit we are entering into. We're going to be probably stopping around 40 or 50. Notice the pressure built itself back up, so now we're going to be venting some of that pressure as we get going. By the way, our next stop is Portsmouth in Southsea. We're only 7 miles away from that, so not too much to go at all. Basically a Petersfield to Roland's Castle journey, and we got a few stations to pass along the way. One of them is very, very quick coming up here. And I should remember the name because we were just there, and I'm actually forgetting the names, so I'm going to actually cheat and look at the map. It's not Hillsea, that's the one after. Bedhampton, I just remembered that before I looked at it. Bedhampton. Manhampton is the next station here. And a crossing. So you can see passengers over here just doing their own thing. More over here. Again, they're doing their own thing. You may notice, by the way, I believe that was a Class 20 on the back of the train. I took a picture of that while we were at Havant. I think that's a Class 20 back there. Might have been a Class 37 as well, or a 47. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not as up to snuff on what all of the different trains are on the British Railways from the old days, so... but it was one of those old ones. It looked like either a Class 20 or a Class 37. Those are my two best guesses, but it very well could be a 47 as well. So, definitely nice to see that. Whatever one it is, you can be assured that it comes with the Black 5 DLC. And since it is Kuju, and it's part of the Kuju pack, it probably is a Class 37 or 47. Because they were both part of the East Coast mainline route. So 37, 47 both come to mind as the most likely candidates here. So that came with the Kuju pack, and we know that's probably what it is. So we're going to see Hillsea, then Fratton, and then we're going to come into Portsmouth and Southsea. We're going to see if we can get a picture at Hillsea for you. I think there's an enthusiast waiting to get a picture at Hillsea. We're going to take his view. $60 is our speed limit coming up. Followed immediately by an 80. That's a little cut. We have it rated 85 right now, so that's where the little cut is. We can't go past that area at 60. It's been deemed not to be safe to do so. So we have to reduce to 60. We're not at 60, so that's okay. I don't care. I really don't care. I think we're coming up on Hillsea right now. We're coming up on Junction at least. That much I do know. No, that wasn't Hillsea. I made that up. I made that up. I'm hearing noises right now. Ah, this may be Hillsea, right? Nope, maybe not. Trying to keep an eye on the stations, it kind of gives me some recognition awareness of where I am at this point. Hillsea is not too far from Fratton. And that's not too far from Portsmouth and Southsea. We're 3 miles away from Portsmouth and Southsea. Here is Hillsea coming up. Nice shot he got there. Let's take another look inside the cab. There's the fire again. I really do not like that sound, so I'm just going to stay outside the cab. You can hear the alarms of the plants nearby, or whatever that is. Nice shot that the enthusiast got as well. I like that shot. Got the sign in the background, got the train just rushing by. Beautiful shot. I appreciate that. Here comes Fratton. Since I know Fratton's coming up, I'm going to start working on the regulator to lower it, because we're going to have a 40 after Fratton. And eventually a 25 coming into the station, I believe. I have a feeling we are going to be using a terminus platform. So we're going to be prepared for that possibility. We're just going to start lowering our speed now a little bit. Because we're only 2 miles out, we might as well. At this pace, we're going to be there in about 2.5 minutes. So let's extend it for our passengers just a little longer, especially because that 25 is indeed ahead, like I suggested. Yeah, Hillsey was the last chance to get this train at a fast speed, and our enthusiast picked a perfect spot, I believe. We're going to apply the regulator now so we can maintain enough speed coming through Fratton. 25 is after Fratton, not during Fratton. Portsmouth Southsea, of course, only a mile away from Fratton. And we're not going to Portsmouth Harbour, but if we were, it's another mile or so further down the track as well. So these 3 stations are packed very close together. You could get away with going to Fratton as your main starting point, and then you don't have to deal with the next stop right away. Though you'll still have to deal with the stop at Havant. I'm going to put the running brake on. I never actually did that again. I keep forgetting to do that. I mean, you got to tame a wild beast, right? Keep that brake running so you can keep her tame. You can see our terminus up ahead at Portsmouth and Southsea. We are using a terminus platform, a terminal platform. So I have no shame in lowering the speed now, because if we just wait till we get to 25 to lower, we're going to have to screech this thing to a halt. And with steam engines, I don't like screeching to a halt. I like making it an enjoyable experience for the passengers. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do exactly that. So we're just casually coming in with our regulator at a low pace. I kind of want to be going 20 when I get to the 25. I think that's a good speed to come in at. The regulator is going to come in and lower itself from there. But we are getting fairly close to the station. Maybe I will just drop the regulator right now. We'll do a nice slow chugging. You can see we do have a yellow signal up ahead. That is a single yellow. I probably didn't call out a double yellow that would have happened a little further back, so I probably missed that. That's okay. There's a single yellow. We are being indicated to platform 4 as we expected, so we're going to probably veer to the right here. We are going to veer to the right here. Platform 3 was the one further ahead. We used that in the previous scenario. So now we're taking the track to platform 4. Regulator is back on so we can power ourselves into Portsmouth and Southsea. Now we're about 0.02 of a mile away, so I'm going to start applying a brake. Not much. Actually, I don't even need to do that because I can just go ahead and coast in. But I will have to apply the brake to come to a stop. Make sure when we open the doors that that's it. Okay, I'm still going a little too slowly, so let's go ahead and keep going. We're not going to get the whole train in, so I'm not even going to try. Not a chance. Passengers have been advised that they are going to have to come to the front, I believe, 6 coaches in order to leave the train. The back 5 coaches are not going to be on the train. Some of the passengers might have gotten off at Havant. They might have been the ones in the back coaches. That everyone would have been directed where to go based on where they wanted to go. So, as you can see, all of our other tasks are complete, so this should be a completed scenario. That's good enough. We're very, very close. Front 6, possibly front 7 if I went a little further, but I'm not going to risk hitting the buffer, so I'm just going to stop right here. That will be it. Apply the brakes fully. And stop moving backwards, please. Thank you. So doors are going to be open. That's the end of the scenario. Let's take a look at this thing. There you have it. My inaugural journey in a Black 5 steam locomotive, ladies and gentlemen. And we made it in one piece, and we managed to not destroy the train. Yay! Now, being an old model, I would have been surprised if we destroyed this one. So 44830, you can see the British Railways line, like I said earlier. Beautiful, beautiful design of these locomotives way back when. Back then, designing trains was an art form. It still is in a way, but it really was back then. We've arrived in brilliant sunshine. I got you the view in the sun, didn't I? And all the passengers are dashing off to get some shopping done in town. Well done on a successful trip. 2 L's. Good spelling. It's a standard scenario, so we're just going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you like the video, especially if you like the steam engines. Follow the channel by subscribing. You can also support my work on Patreon if you want to support the work I do, looking over all the career scenarios and things like that we're seeing what works and what doesn't. And just doing these fun drives from time to time as well. You can also join the Discord server and chat about steam, diesel, electric trains, or buses, or trucks, or whatever you want to talk about, simulators. Feel free to come chat. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. Next time we're going to do the final scenario, working from Woking in the other direction, all the way to Woking, obviously. Starting from here in Portsmouth and Southsea. See you next time for that. In the meantime, like I said, have a wonderful day, evening, or night. And I'll see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.